Let's talk about the biggest difference between user experience design and user interface design. Here you can see me very roughly sketching an interface, and this is for me to test out if somebody wants to hire a cleaner within our app HubHive, and what steps that we would need to take to ask them the right questions to find them the best professional cleaner. And so rather than focusing on the design, the colors, the pixels, I like to just roughly sketch everything out. This lets my mind think about that experience where I don't have to think about what icon do I use here, where do I find the icon, what fonts. This really gets all of that out of the way, and especially so when you design something like this, you can test it out, and if you don't like it, you don't have to feel bad about deleting a screen or changing things up because you're not spending that much time. I know this is a time lapse that's 20 times sped up, but this only took me about 30 minutes to test someone clicking on find a cleaner and actually going through the flow of suggesting 3 top cleaners for them. So you can see here I'm thinking about a little bit about the wording, I'm thinking kind of about the icons and the flow, but then I'm able to link everything up and quickly test this to say, is this going to meet the goal and is this going to be a great experience? So here I can click on the cleaner, I can enter the zip code, add the time that I want the project done, if there's photos I need to add or the location. But as I test this out, I can click submit, see that there's going to be an animated interface of finding the right pros and then suggesting them, and give the user the ability to invite them for a quote. So once this is signed off, this is something that I can send to stakeholders, I can send to people to test to say, does this look good? And just very easily finesse and adapt to what works. But as soon as it's signed off here, this is where I delete the scribbles and now I match the HubHive design system. So here, this is where you get that spacing correct, you get the fonts and the headers correct. But it's something where if I were focusing on the interface, the user interface before the user experience, it would get in the way and it might take me double the time overall thinking about both of that, especially if I'm getting feedback and things need to change radically. All that time that I spend within the layout, just based on my experience, I've done this before, where you really want to drill into the design, but then it's all scrapped because it doesn't meet the goal or the experience isn't what they were thinking of. But here, now I can be very confident in finding the right icons because we're thinking about the right information architecture that we've already created in the experience design. But this is something now just allows me to focus into that design system, and then we can test it again just to make sure everything's working clearly, that the buttons are stuck to the footer of the phone, the things are laid out very clearly. So here very shortly I'll show you what this flow looks like after you've incorporated the user interface design. So this is what it's going to look like. We're on the home page, we add our zip code, we choose what type of service we need, we go through, add all of our project details, but you can see it's very polished, and this is something now I can hand off to the developers and say, let's get to work and develop this. So that's the clear difference between the user experience design and the user interface design, and why you would want to split those two out.